welcome to the Comedy Here Often podcast. I'm your host, Kevvy. This week on the show is Brett Forte. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
What is this note?
It's like stuck together with something too. It's like gum.
That's gum, dude.
It's gross.
It's up to interpretation what he's trying to say to you by giving that to you.
What does that mean?
I thought you gave it to me.
Uh-oh. I think Ben Miner's pulling a trick on both of you.
Oh, jeez.
Can you tell? I know you just told me, but can you tell me what happened at the JFL after party last night?
Sam Walker got booted.
I thought his name was Scott Walker.
You would think. Yeah, so they didn't give him one of these like passes. Mm-hmm. They had to make one for him, and they didn't know who he was. So yeah, they just wrote in Sharpie Scott Walker.
Oh my God!
Yeah, if you go to my Instagram, you'll see the whole video of me telling the door girl to give him a hard time, to say, hey, that guy with the mustache and the one leather glove is not is not supposed to be here. Big surprise.
Yeah.
And make sure he's on the list. Because also this party include like Bill Burr's there.
Yeah.
Like right? So really
not just anyone's allowed in here. Yeah. You need credentials.
That's right.
So I like that you take your roast battles off the stage into real life.
It's good to have a narrative. A lot of people who don't know a lot about this Sam Walker thing, they don't know if it's real, if it's fake. The way I kind of describe it is like the friendship is on hold for ticket sales.
I understand.
Because when he had his first meltdown on stage and he's like, you don't fucking deserve it, you ain't fucking getting it, and he walked off, slammed the door, he was yelling at the other comedians, that was real. This
is on your roast battle that you do once a month.
Once a month in Calgary.
What's it called?
Yeah, Brett Forte's Roast Battles. That's it.
Okay.
And the only thing different with my show as opposed to other ones is when you lose, like I was telling you, you lose some more. So if the audience votes that you're the loser, you sit on the stool with no microphone. Yeah. And I go in a bit more on you.
You just receive.
And it's confrontational. It's hard. The jokes have to be very good to get a laugh, because all of a sudden now it feels like I'm bullying them on stage.
Yeah.
It goes a lot better if it's like 2-on-1. It's more playful.
Yeah.
But I still love the cutthroat nature of it.
Me too.
So, yeah.
My dream is to write for a big roast. Those are my favorites, I think. Like that show Roast Battle, Jeff Ross's, where it was like a tournament.
Yeah.
It's so watchable. It's just it's such fun competition, but that's interesting when it goes beyond the stage, like what you have going right now.
Yeah.
Have you had that before?
No.
So is he the only one to like get mad during the show? And
he lives his life like it's a wrestling promo. He really does.
Kick the shit out of me now.
Yeah. So I'm actually doing him a favor. I know he's having fun with this.
Yeah.
Who would you want to write for? Big roast battle.
I mean, my hero is Jesselnick, but I think he's one of the best roasters there is. Yeah. But you mean for like the guest of honor? Like who would I want?
The only one I've gotten so far is Shane Doan. I wrote for the roast of Shane Doan.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Hockey jokes. It was fun. Yeah.
That's great. So did you perform on it, or were you writing for other people?
No, writing for other people.
That's what I want to do. That seems so fun.
Yeah.
It seems challenging, but it's like a home run derby. You know what I mean? You're just writing these mean, clever jokes, and the point is to just get the biggest reaction. I love it.
Well, and what I found in doing this show is like the last people I figured to be offended would be fellow comedians. And boy, am I realizing that it might be 30, 40, 50% of our kind cannot handle that show.
It's really true. It's so sensitive.
Yeah.
They can dish it. They like literally last episode, man, this guy was doing so well.
Yeah.
And then he lost, and it's salt in the wounds. And I'm going in on him, and he doesn't have a mic, and he's going to me. He's like, dude, I don't want to go. He's like, yeah, he did this. He's like, can I just go? I don't want to be here.
This is traumatized.
He's whispering, and it's like, no, like you're locked in.
You're trying to roast him, and he's like,
yeah. That's why they don't have the microphone, so they can't whine about it.
Yeah.
One time a guy messaged me the night before the show. He's like, hey, man, can you send me any jokes you wrote about my ex-fiance just so that I can okay them before the show?
That's not how it works.
And I didn't have any jokes about his ex-fiance.
But after that...
I opened up 8 tabs on this guy. I had tabs. I had her Instagram, his Instagram. I had the breakup post. I had it all. I read the breakup post word for word. You know how girls do? They're like, the last 2 years have been a journey and all this bullshit, right?
A sexy photo of them.
We've both grown as people and blah, like all this bullshit. Yeah, word for word. And he was red as a fucking tomato on stage. It was great.
They're red potatoes. You could have said that.
I was gonna say potato. Yeah.
It was brown as a potato. I hate to bring skin color into this. I like that you do research like an investigator on who you're gonna. It's like Nardwar. He actually hires like a public. Like a private investigator, blows people's minds. Yeah, public investigator. He's just real upfront about his research. But you're like the Nardwar of roasts.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We go deep, man. Sam Walker, for example, one time he was doing a show there. And so in Calgary, a big news story was this old woman was pushed in front of a C train, attempted murder, okay?
Wow.
Oh.
Train hit her. She survived, but she's paralyzed. She's in the hospital. Her grandson is a comedian. Or a budding comedian starting, right?
Oh, don't go to roast battles.
Yeah. He was signed up.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
So 1 week after this event, he happens to step on stage, and his opponent happens to be a man with a mustache and one leather glove.
No.
And while his family is there, not the grandmother, obviously, in the hospital, but the rest of the family attending.
Why would they come?
Because the grandson is the future. All right, we're here to support the grandson.
Oh,
okay?
my God.
Oh, no.
So while they're in the audience, Walker's opening joke is, Juan's grandmother might be paralyzed, but she can still feel what a disappointment her grandson is. And it's over. And the best part is the family was laughing and like pounding
They
the
did?
table.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And that's
Yeah.
the thing, man. Anything can be made fun of. And as long as it's more funny than shocking,
agree.
you can do it. And laughter heals, and it's all good. And it was so good to see them laughing at that, man.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love
That's
that.
a good roast joke.
Dude, so I told that story on live radio in Winnipeg recently.
Yeah.
So you know how radio usually is like when you're doing your press, it's pre-taped because you could go off, right?
Yeah.
But this one was live, and they asked. Somehow it went down that you guys laughed. They were so tight, right? Because it's
man.
morning show Winnipeg radio.
Yeah.
They were just trained not to. They're like, okay, all right. So Brett's gonna be at Rumors Winnipeg all week. Text us 225-1015 if you want tickets. Wow, and then they were gone.
I'm impressed you remember the phone number still. What do they expect, by the way, when they bring they're like, let's book a comedian who does roast battle. Well, he said something offensive? It's like, what the fuck do you want?
Yeah.
This is the entertainment.
Yeah, exactly. This is like...
This is
Well,
what you
this
ordered.
show right here is the reason why radio is failing, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But it's funny how sometimes it doesn't even matter. People will just sign up to or buy tickets to things not knowing what it is, and that must happen at your show. I remember when Bill Burr was here last year, and I went and I saw a woman like ran on stage to like she was so offended. It's like he was like, "Who did you think you were seeing tonight?"
Exactly.
Why was she there? I guess it was probably she was on a date or something like that. And didn't know.
Weird
but-
first impression on a date.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of guys like to bring their girlfriend to Bill Burr.
As a litmus test.
That's
See how this goes.
That's a mistake. Yeah.
That's like in Taxi Driver, how when Robert De Niro brought Sybil Shepherd on a first date, he took her to a porn theater. It's a litmus test.
Great litmus test.
Oh, yeah.
Let's call this episode the litmus test.
Yes.
Okay, it's completely offside, but my friend I was just hanging out with in Vancouver says he has a litmus test on dates with women. Because this is recorded, I can't even do the joke fully. It's this gross.
I can't fucking wait for this.
Okay, so he's... Keep in mind, man. Keep in mind, he's on a date with a lady.
Okay.
And he goes, what would the Flintstones be called if they were black? What do you think?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then he just goes, N-word. He just says,
No.
yeah.
Wow.
He just goes full in on the word.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
Right. And if the girl laughs or like isn't like completely off put by it, he's like, he's found his wife.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this is like, I get it. I
Yeah.
get what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay. Because now, first of all, he's not racist. He doesn't have any, right? It's just a joke. It's
He's
just
just
like
bad at dates.
It's just out of left field,
Yeah.
right? And when he says it, if they're okay with it, he's found the one. And I go, okay. The problem with this is you can't really tell this story at your wedding. Like
Yeah.
the minute I knew I loved you is when you said the N word. Like that's.
on the first date.
That's not romance, man. So I had to try to. I'm telling him, you got to find a new litmus test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if he was like, you don't even like her that much. It's just she wasn't offended.
Yeah, that's what he's looking for. Is as long as there's not like a super visceral reaction. As long as she's cool.
Wow. So has it worked for him ever?
He says, yeah. He says, no, for it to be his litmus test, it means he uses it on a regular basis. So
I see.
obviously it is weeding out, I don't know.
To be fair, he only goes on dates at clan rallies.
Yeah. Let me tell you my litmus test. I'm glad we're on this topic. Okay, so this is a good one. I like maybe first, second date, casual, finding our way at the mall or whatever, going to a Nordstrom's. Okay, maybe have a little puff before. Okay, and then we play the price guessing game. So you go into Nordstrom, you pick out the shittiest looking shoes, okay, and it's always the ugliest ones that are the most expensive. You know this.
Oh, yeah.
A stupid Converse runner with 3 Ardene's earrings stapled to the side, and that's $1,595. So you think like you go in with your brain and you guess, and the point is if you're laughing, if she's laughing at the audacity when you turn that shoe over, like $1,600. If she's laughing, she's the one. If she's like, yeah, that's about right, or knows the prices, or is like is okay with the whole red bottom $800 shoe thing, not the one for you.
That's true.
Not the one.
It's like, what?
Yeah. Oh, that's actually a really good deal. $795.
Yeah. Huh? Usually on first dates, guys get me things more expensive than this, but I'm glad you're offering.
Yeah.
It's like, what did I do? Time to pull out the N-word.
So what would you call the Flintstones?
Holy man.
Litmus tests. Do you have a litmus test on a date with a guy?
Oh God, I don't know. No.
What was your last date you've been on, Alexi?
My
Let's get into this.
My last date that I've been on was with my current boyfriend, and we, I don't know, it wasn't really a date. We like
Did he say the N-word? And you're still here.
It's not love. It's not love.
That's how I knew.
She's like, that's not his favorite
How
slur.
long have you been with him?
3 years.
3 years. So
Yeah.
yeah, you guys don't date anymore.
No.
Yeah, okay.
I'm in a long distance thing. My girl is in LA, so we actually go on dates. Because it's when I go out there, I'm only
Of
out there for
course.
like a week
Cool.
week and a half. So Disneyland, that's a date. You don't like Disneyland?
Dude, come on. What is it? 120 at the door?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Are you kidding? That's a.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Mickey Mouse.
You don't like Mickey Mouse?
No, I'm not into Disney at all. And frankly, the whole like these 27-year-old women that are still obsessed with Disney.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I don't watch the movies, but I do like a good gimmicky ride with pirates.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's some of the rides, I guess.
And there's a Star Wars bar, and you have to book in there at noon, and then you go in there, and then you drink, and then you fucking walk around and get on the railroad ride 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you because I don't really like fantasy stuff. So the people who have to see every children's movie when it comes out, I'm not one of those people. But I like theme parks. I'm realizing.
Yeah.
I didn't really know I liked that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an expensive hobby,
It
man.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a frugal guy. At my dates.
I heard you talk about those shoes. You are frugal.
Yeah. I like, it's you want a movie, we go on Tuesday where it's half price. You want tacos, we go on Tuesday. Pretty much I'm free Tuesday. Tuesday's my day.
All the best deals happen on Tuesday for date.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like I had a great date recently. I went to the casino. See, I live in Calgary. We have casinos everywhere. And it's a real treat because it's free coffee. They pump the oxygen into place. It's great. It's great people watching.
Feels good, yeah.
There's a $5 menu after 9 p.m. It's a
love
great
that.
time. So it's just my home base. And yeah, I go there, sushi, $5 menu. That's a $22 tab.
That's
Then
good.
you get a free coffee, some walking around, some people watching.
Yeah, I love a good people
And I'm
watch.
looking to find someone who enjoys what I like doing. So that's
Yep.
what I do. And it went great.
That's
you know,
great.
for $22.
Yep.
It's very doable.
That's very doable. You can do that every night of the week, really. You don't have to wait for Tuesdays for that.
Any time of the day, even too.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. I like those people. I'm fascinated by the people that don't mind spending daytime in a place like that. You know what I mean? I'd feel guilty, I think,
Yeah.
if I was in there at like 2 p.m. hammered on a slot machine, but I respect the lifestyle.
I don't even drink. I just go there for the $4 rice. It's just you get a lot of rice for $4.
Really?
Yeah, it's Chinese fried rice. It's great.
Oh, yeah, that is good. Yeah. I have a friend who he had a residency at a casino doing comedy there for like months at a time in Vegas. And I was like, how is that? Do you like it? Because it's a really nice hotel he's staying in. He's like, it was great for 2 days. And then it's Groundhog Day. And then it's kind of sad. And
Yeah. 2 days is what it took me to get bored of Vegas. Yeah, same thing.
Like, I kind of want to go on a cruise ship, but I'm worried it'll lose its magic after a few hours. And then I'm just stuck and potentially seasick. You ever been on a cruise?
No, not yet. One day I'll take one of those gigs, though, just for the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
like
fun.
do comedy. Yeah.
Working like a week or two on the ship,
They
yeah.
pay crazy good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I like almost cooked on one.
Oh, yeah?
Like that was almost like a job that I took.
Yeah.
But that
Alexi's
seems like
a chef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just seems like it would be like a big party with like other people that work there.
Yeah.
Because you're just there with them. For
Yeah,
like,
it sounds awesome
yeah.
to me.
I mean, like depends on like who's there, right?
Yeah.
If you get a good crowd, maybe.
Yeah.
If you don't,
But
then
for a comedian, you have to perform for the same exact group of people a bunch of times.
yeah.
That sounds tough.
Same group?
Well, wouldn't it be that, like, unless it changes over every day?
Well, I'm thinking on a Carnival cruise, there's 4,000 people.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right? And then so the showroom's 200, so there's got to be a nice cycle.
Well, Dino Archie, he did it for a couple months, and he was like, I had to start doing a lot of crowd work. 'cause the
couple
same
months.
people kept showing up in the front row. He's like, there was a kid who would come, and I just talked to him, and the audience would listen. He was like 11. Yeah.
That sounds like the start of like a Disney movie.
Yeah. There's got to be a Disney cruise ship. I like those cruises that are like themed now, like punk rock cruise ship. It's like everyone's just puking off the side of it.
Yeah, this conversation has made me change my mind. I actually don't want to do a cruise ship. I thought about it. Yeah, I'd rather do the Vegas residency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bet on some sports while I'm there.
Yeah.
Dude, I should be up $1,000 right now.
Really? How come?
I blew it.
What happened?
So the Kobe tribute game happened a few weeks ago,
I watched it.
right? Okay, this is good. We can talk about this.
Yeah. Fourth quarter is crazy.
Okay, so first of all, the first thing that drove me nuts. Did you watch this?
No.
Okay, so they do, to honor him beforehand, and then they give LeBron James the microphone to do a speech. Yeah, you saw this.
Yep.
Okay. So LeBron pulls out this piece of paper out of his waistband. He's got notes, okay? And he goes like this. Now, this is only a comedian's going to notice this trick that he pulls. And he pulls out the piece of paper and he goes, so I wrote a script here, and they want me to stick to it.
Oh, yeah,
But LA Nation, I'd be selling you guys short if I read from that. So I'm just gonna go right from the heart, and he throws it on the ground. He also says, I'd be selling you short if I did that shit. He swore, right, to really make it real. Throws the piece of paper on the ground, and then with his hand, with the microphone, drops it. And when you do that in comedy, when you hit the punchline and then you do that Dave Chappelle fucking hit it off your knee and do a little walk around, that is to tell the crowd, like, that shit was good. Give me some. Give me some, right? So once again, like, they told me to read from the script, but, I'd be selling you guys short if I read from that shit. So I'm going to go from the heart tonight. And then he, walks around. Place goes nuts, right?
Yeah.
So right away, I think, I want that piece of paper. I want to see what's on that piece of paper because I don't think his speech is from the heart. I think it was all written down and this was just for show. This was his first applause break out of the gate.
Yeah.
I'd pay good money to see that because his speech was so poetic, and it ended with like, in the words of Kobe, like Mamba out, but in the words of us, not forgotten. And,
Yeah.
you know, like, oh, you just came up with that?
Yeah, it's off the
On the
dome.
spot?
Best improviser ever.
Off the dome.
Yeah.
So I really want to start my next set with a set list.
I was gonna do this
And a set
off
list.
script, but be selling
Yeah.
laugh lines short, so I'm just gonna from the heart. Forte out, but not forgot.
But the first one is like, so the other weekend I was in camp, just right into material, you know? Like, every joke they've ever heard. So what do you call it?
Yeah. It's so emotional, and then it just goes into like airline food is weird.
Yeah. Right into it.
Yeah.
So I hated that moment. And then the game itself. Okay, this is what's interesting. So you follow basketball?
Big basketball fan.
Huge. Okay, so let's talk about it. You? Like
No, not really, but I can learn.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. It's the Kobe tribute game. It's the first home game for the Lakers that they're playing since the death. Okay, so every chair is covered in a jersey. It's this massive spectacle. Okay, you would think, who do you think would win the game, Portland or the Lakers at home for the Kobe tribute game? What does your common sense tell you?
Lakers,
Yes,
probably,
right?
right? Yeah.
It would almost be disrespectful if Portland won that game, would it not? Yeah. So you're thinking, man, got to put money on the Lakers. No, so you look at the money line in Vegas, right? Now here in Canada, we get fucked. We can't bet on sports the same way. So to bet on just the one game, it's Lakers minus 1,000. What that means, when you see those numbers, that means you have to bet $1,000 to win 100. So it's not even worth it. You got to pony up $1,000 to win 100.
Yeah.
Whereas Portland was plus 750, meaning if you bet $100, you win $750.
Yeah.
You 8 times your money. So now I'm thinking, does Portland have a chance in this game? I look at Instagram. Damian Lillard is sitting in the Staples Center hours before the game, all alone, going, tonight we play for Kobe.
Yeah.
We play in his honor.
Yeah.
He's the hottest player in the league. I'm like, this guy could go off.
Yeah.
So now I'm starting to think, you know what? I think Portland's going to win this game.
Yeah.
But I pussy out because I believe in fairy tale endings. Your Disney shit.
Disney is a curse.
Your Disney bullshit crept into my mind.
I think you're the true Disney fan then.
No, I thought,
You want
okay,
that.
this is what's going to happen. Portland's going to come out nice, okay?
Yep.
Halftime's going to come, and then the Lakers going to have to be like, yo, we got to get shit together here. We can't lose this game for Kobe, right?
Yeah.
And then eventually they'll win by a couple points, is how I figured the game was going to go. So I put money on Portland to lead after one half.
Okay.
You can do that. Wouldn't you know that Portland led after one quarter? They led after 3 quarters. They won the game. Portland won the game by 20-something points.
Oh my god.
They destroyed the Lakers. It
Yeah.
wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Damian Lillard went off. But the Lakers led at half. I lost my bet. The only bet I did, and I would have been up $1,000, was because I believed in fucking fairy tale
Yeah,
endings.
see?
And that's the last time. That's the last time.
And that's why he doesn't want to go on a Disney cruise ship.
That's right.
Because of Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
We'll come full circle now.
I thought the All-Star game, they did this long Kobe tribute, as they should have, and they mentioned that David Stern died.
Yes.
And then showed just pictures of Kobe, and they just did Common just did the thing for Kobe, and then it's like, they're not even going to talk about David Stern was a commissioner of the league for like a long time,
Oh
and
my
he
god.
We did Stern. No, but we did. We did Stern.
yeah.
It's only the pressure of like, because those people like, well, other people are on that helicopter too, like that whole thing. Again, we know, but there obviously there's a focal point to
Yeah,
this.
but I know who Kobe Bryant is, and I don't know who those other people are. So if I'm not saying, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so it's always weird. It's like people just really wanting to be super offended all the time.
Yeah.
Looking for reasons to be
Yes. Oh,
offended.
yeah.
That is my entire
And
act.
rain on your parade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking for reason, even in relationships, man. And
Yeah.
that was like a huge sticking point in my last relationship, was like, she was just Man, she would literally fall asleep to Grey's Anatomy each night, and I think it was brainwashing her because that show is so much emotion. Nothing ever normal. It's always highs and the lowest of lows and the highest of highs and crying and death and rebirth and up and down. And it was programming her brain to be like seeking this in her life.
Yeah.
Looking for reasons to be upset. And I am so not offended by anything and never affected.
Yeah.
So easygoing that it bothered me.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that bothers me is when other people are looking for reasons to be bothered.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
For sure. Yeah, it's disingenuous and it's phony.
Yeah.
And I think comedians see through that real quick.
Yeah.
Usually. You're very physical in your act.
That's great.
I'm not a comedian. I don't do transitions.
Awesome segue.
I don't do those. No segues.
Yeah.
Did you ever like dance or do gymnastics or anything? It seems like it.
Wow, thank you so much.
It's a compliment.
First of all, thank you so much.
I would love it if someone said that
about me. No, I've never professionally danced.
I just mean classes or something.
No, I grew up in front of the mirror, and I'm an only child. And I don't know.
Me too.
Yeah? Another
Rare.
shake? Okay.
Okay.
All right. We didn't have to shake on that.
I disagree.
Yeah, man, I like to move. I'm goofy. Early in comedy, sometimes people give you flack for that, the physical guys.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And then I realized, no, if that's what's getting laughs, if my body's funny, keep doing what's funny.
People who are just joke people and feel like it should be only that way are intimidated by guys like you.
We all want to be Bill Burr leaning on the microphone stand for an hour.
One arm on the stand.
Yeah. We all want to be Bill. We can't. Do what makes people laugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill, quick Bill story.
Tell me.
So I got to play the Vogue the other night, opening for Jay Farrell.
Amazing.
Yeah, that guy was so nice, man. He went on radio in the morning. He's like, I love Brett. He talked about my physicality too. And he's like Jim Carrey and shit. He really put me on this like.
Did he ask if you're a dancer?
No.
Sorry, Jay.
Wow.
I got there first.
Wow, you're insightful. Jay, so he gives me this opportunity. He came to Vancouver when I was headlining the Yuck Yucks. He dropped in and did 10 minutes spots on my shows on the Friday.
Awesome.
And he rolled in with a posse 6 deep, celebrities, actors and shit. Now, when that happens in LA, I've seen Arsenio Hall drop in on a show before. Yeah. He comes in with his posse, and then as soon as the set's done, it's out the back door, into the Chevy Tahoe, you're gone.
Yeah.
Jay hung out. He sat there on the stool. He watched both my sets. He watched 2 hours of me.
Just so cool.
And then was like, you had great things to say. And we exchanged numbers. And he's like, if you're in LA, hit me up. I never really did hit him up. And then I see that he's playing Vancouver. He returns the favor. He goes, drop in on my show now.
That's great.
So he did a 200 crowd. And then he paid it back by giving me a 1,200.
Amazing.
Yeah, really cool guy. Now, what was cool is because 2 years ago, I saw Bill Burr in that very same venue talk about dogs on stage. And he had to get rid of his pit bull because of his baby coming.
Yeah, Cleo.
Yeah. So a lot of people are invested in this. They listen to his podcast. And he's like, I got to get rid of my dog because, the baby's coming. And at least 50, 70 people in that 1,200 were like, no, Bill. No, boo. No. A woman got out of her seat. She ran up the aisle. She was standing in the aisle, pointing, going, no, Bill, they're loving creatures and blah, blah, blah.
I was at that show. Yeah.
This Vancouver bullshit. You understand? This is the epicenter of the whole dog.
I know.
It's too much.
I know.
It's too much. And
it's Montreal bullshit, too.
It bothers me. I got about 5 minutes in my act that's anti-dog, you could say, or anti-dog people.
Yeah.
And what a better time than to unleash it than at the Vogue, standing where Bill Burr was 2 years ago, so that I could kind of feel the hostility myself.
Yeah.
And it was fun. They went quiet, then the jokes were there, so I got them back. But it was cool to see.
Yeah.
In Vancouver, it's like make fun of black people, but not black labs. Like there's this line. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to every day prove a point on stage as well. It's almost that's what they say. You should try to find a message in your act.
For sure.
And then, so that's one of them is like, don't look for reasons to be offended.
Yeah.
Get over things, so.
It's crazy. I produce comedy albums, and every time I do an album for an out-of-town comedian, they're like, why did the crowd react to that? It was clearly a joke that way. Like when I did Phil Hanley's album, he was like, he has a joke about how he's like, he slept with a girl and then she wanted to use his toothbrush, and he's like, no, that's gross. And she's like, what's the difference? We just had sex. He's like, the difference is I want to use that toothbrush again. The crowd's like, what? And he's like, in New York, that gets a laugh.
That's awesome.
It's a good joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, every time I do that here, that happens.
That reminds me of when I say, because at the end of a date, speaking of frugal, a girl looked at me at the end of a second date. She's like, in 2 dates, you've spent $8 on me. And I've had sex with you both times. Like, do you understand that? I go, yeah, I understand. You owe me $4. Jokes, right?
Yeah. It's like half baked, the
But
little
there's
date money counter in the corner.
But there's always one woman with a short haircut that's like, no, I'm out of here. No, I got to get back to my condo board. They're always condo board ladies.
We have a segment on the show where we talk about our worst day job stories. Do you have anything like that?
Worst day job stories.
Yeah.
So I worked in radio. So I've been just stand up for a couple years now, but I got fired. So I won. That was nice. I won something called Edmonton's Funniest Person with a Day Job 3 years ago. Okay. Yeah. So that's the last time I had a day job. So I won Funniest Person with a Day Job, and then I come back. And I was in Edmonton. I live in Calgary. So I drove up to Edmonton to win Funniest Person in Edmonton, and I'm not even from Edmonton.
They brought in a ringer.
Yeah. This is at Rick Bronson's club, the comic strip.
Okay.
And then I drive back to Calgary with the giant check, and I come into work the next morning, bright and bushy-tailed, like, boys, we brought it home. We brought it home. And they're like, yeah, can we see you for a second? And they let me go on the spot. So 12 hours after winning Funniest Person with a Day Job, I no longer had a day job.
Wow.
I lost a day job. It was actually kind of a blessing because it's kind of a kick in the ass.
Why'd they fire you?
I just wasn't needed anymore, man. I had George Costanza'd my way for so long, man. Like, I really tried to make it in radio because before comedy, I was like, oh, I can talk. I'm good at talking.
Yeah.
Let's do something where the job is talking.
Yeah.
So that seemed realistic to me, except when it comes to content, there are these boundaries everywhere. It is like playing Minesweeper on the hardest level. Everything you talk about could trigger somebody. And when you do, they write into the radio station.
Yeah.
They have a voice, and it matters. And then when it gets to your program director, you are either suspended, potentially fired for things you've said. And I'm talking nothing, man. My co-host one time, she said, because our bad area in Calgary is Bowness, okay? It would be the same as you talking about Hastings here or whatever.
Yep.
So we had the mayor on with us, and then we were talking about a key to the city.
Yep.
And she's like, but for Bowness, it'd be a crowbar, right? Yeah, like hilarious.
That's a good joke.
Like really funny.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. Condo board ladies.
Okay. I thought the crowbar industry complained.
No, Bowness residents. How dare you talk about our neighborhood? This kind of shit. And she got in trouble for that. Okay. So there's an example. Now, and you would be reprimanded. Okay. So I remember when I was doing stand-up the first couple years, here comes another one of these letters. The owner of the club at Yuck Yucks Calgary comes up to me with his phone. He's like, look, I got an email about you. And it was a brick. And this woman was just like, I saw this guy on your stage. He made light of domestic dispute. He was racial. You should never have him represent your brand ever again on your stage. He is a mockery to blah, blah, blah. She went off on me. And I'm sitting there reading this going, here we go again. These losers are affecting my livelihood.
Yeah.
And I was like, am I hitting the wall again, man?
No.
And as I'm thinking this, the owner's like, so do you want New Year's?
Oh, nice.
He upgraded me. He's like, it sounds like you're being nice and racist lately. Like keep it up. That sounds great. You want the biggest show of the year? Do you want the highest paying show of the year?
Yeah.
And that's when everything clicked in, and I'm like, oh, I found the job.
Yeah.
I can't get in trouble.
Yeah.
As much as you think comedians can be canceled, they can't.
Yeah, those kind of people, it's just noise that you just have to block out. It doesn't matter. It's like when Chappelle's special came out and Rotten Tomatoes did this thing where, because normally Rotten Tomatoes is half critics votes, half general public votes, and then it's an accumulation of the two.
Okay.
They did a thing where they made it so only 5 critics voted on it, and so it had 0%. Dave Chappelle, arguably the greatest comedian in the world, had a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, and then people complained about it to the point that they're like, okay, fine, and now it has 99%.
That's almost better though. That's good press.
That is
because
great
now
press.
there's articles talking about the 0.
Yeah.
Now you're interested. How could it be a 0?
Yeah.
What is it? Nacho Libre? That's, whoa. That was, hey, just so you know, that was the best movie I've ever seen, and then the following week, the worst movie. Because I was 14 or something when it came out, and I remember laughing so hard in the theater with my friends at 14.
It was residual Napoleon Dynamite laughs.
Right. It was residual. I found it so funny to the point where I get home and it's like, Mom, Dad, like the next 7-day rental from Rogers Video has to be Nacho Libre. It has to be. And they're like, okay, fine. And in our family, because it was just 3, you know, Mom, Dad, and me, like whoever picks the movie, the other 2 gang up on. Like if it's bad, you get roasted for it.
Yeah.
And I was
That's where it started.
so embarrassed, like pressing play, like get ready. And then like just no laughs.
And they made you sit on a stool with no microphone, and they just went in on you.
Yeah.
Salt in the wound. You're like, well, this fucking idiot. Yeah. That's your mom saying that?
Yeah. Dude, that's where it started, man. My dad would only laugh if I made fun of him. If I impersonated him, he would laugh. My mom would laugh at the goofy shit. I'd be like, you know, doing I remember I would do this mosquito hitting the window. Like flicking my thing. Stupid shit. She would laugh at. If I did that around my dad, he'd be like, stop it. You're embarrassing yourself.
It's funny. I showed my mom a Jeselnik special, and she loved it. And then she was like, you know what I like about him? He's just not so safe in these days of everybody being so scared. And I was like, you think that? Wow.
Cool.
Okay.
Your mom's generation is my favorite. That's who I try to speak to. I wish I did grow up in that generation.
Yeah.
There's a disconnect between me and mine. So,
but then there's people like Joey Diaz who uncancelable, and he's more offensive than anybody.
Well, he's banned from. You can't get into Canada. He's been canceled from touring.
That's true.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So there are some, but that guy he leaves a crater in the Comedy Store, man.
Yeah.
The main room, like he often does like Sam Tripoli's Chaos show. And if you have to follow Diaz, good luck. Because he's one of those guys. Donnell Rawlings is one of those guys in that room. It's over.
Yeah.
And it takes a while for people to stop like talking about the set that just happened.
Yeah. Joey Diaz, he's this comedian, and he used to come out on stage with just his balls in his hands, and that was his opening joke.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like when Rogan would have him open a long time ago, like when he had the Man Show, he would have Joey Diaz do audience warm-up, and that's how he'd do it.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I shook his hand. I got a sty the next day. That's true.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I think I shook his hand. I rubbed my eye, and boom, sty. And he would tell you, like, you dumb cocksucker. Like, you should have known I was tickling my muffler, you know?
Tickling my muffler. That's the name of that's the name of the episode. Tickling my muffler.
2 fingers in my muffler, you dumb fuck. You should have known, you fuck.
He's great, but he's a sweetheart though. He's
the nicest, man.
Yeah, great, thoughtful guy.
Yeah.
He's one of those people that's like, don't fucking text me, phone calls.
Yeah, dude.
I like that too.
Hey, so when you started dating your guy, was it all text or was it phone calls?
Oh yeah, it was all text. It was all text. I like
Garbage.
phone calls.
How old
though.
are you? 25?
26.
Nice, nailed it.
But I do prefer a phone call. Like I hate texting.
Yeah.
I would get rid of my phone if it wasn't tied to my entire work
Same here.
and life and everything.
Same here.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
I know.
I hate when people are able to reach me whenever they want.
I know.
On a whim.
There's no escape.
You know?
Yeah.
And that read receipt that fucking
I don't
locks
do that.
you in.
I don't fuck with that.
It's almost worth getting an Android just so you can kind of sign off from that whole...
I mean, you could turn off the red receipt thing, but it's funny. Gavin Matz was telling me, he's like, you don't have that. You're dishonest.
Yeah, that's right. It sends that
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
that vibe.
If you have it on, you're a psychopath.
Gavin Matz has it on.
Like his read receipts are on or off? Like the
On. So
on.
you can see if he's read your text and just has chosen to not message
Yeah,
you
everyone
back.
keeps that on. Yeah. Left on red.
One more question that we always ask, and I can't wait to hear how you respond to it. Have you ever had a ghost experience?
Yeah. So
Wow. Not how
No,
Mr. Anti-Disney. This is not how I thought
not
this
in
would
like
go.
not in like that I believe in ghosts.
Okay.
Just something funny that happened on stage. So actually in the city playing the Yuck Yucks, I was talking about Casper the ghost on stage.
Yeah.
Bullshit. It wasn't even a bit. I was just kind of riffing.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying the word ghost, and a woman. Speaking, this is
Died.
great. That's right.
Sorry.
Speaking of like looking for reasons to be offended, this is going to come full circle because she starts booing me. Like,
Oh, I get it.
she's going, boo, boo, no, stop it.
Oh, I thought you
No."
meant like what a ghost says. Boo.
Right. So that was my line. I go, are you booing me or are you imitating the ghost?
yeah.
Right? What's happening? And
Yeah.
she goes, stop saying that word.
Oh my god.
And she's fucking serious.
Everyone
man.
has to work around that person in everyday life.
She says, stop saying that word. And it's 200 people dead quiet now. Like, huh?
What's happening?
I
Yeah.
go, what word are you talking? Ghost?
Yeah.
And she literally told me, she goes, it's offensive to spirits.
What?
Ghost is offensive to spirits.
Yeah.
And I was like, congratulations, everyone. We're here. We made it. Like,
Yeah.
2020, ghost is officially the N-word of the afterlife. Of the afterlife. I love how this episode came full circle.
Yeah.
Full circle on everything. Flintstones, looking to be offended, all of it.
Wow.
Good hang today,
So
guys.
how do you recover from that? Like,
You add it to your act now. Now it becomes a joke.
That's true.
You just take it, and she gave me a 1 minute joke now. Thanks.
you immortalized her much like a ghost.
Ah, there it is.
Oh god. It's weird the things people choose to heckle too.
Yeah.
It's like she was probably quiet the whole show until that.
Yeah.
You know? I went saw Mark Norman a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And all 6 of his shows, one person heckled from the front row. But they were quiet through the openers and features, and then the headliner, now you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's so great because he's kind of like an old 20s Newsies kind of guy. Like, you know his comedy, right?
Kind of.
He's like, yeah he was kind of like this girl with green hair kept heckling him. He's like, hey, ICP, shut your trap and get out of here, you douche. Like, wow. Yeah.
So now in Canada, you can go to jail. Not jail, but you can be fined a lot of money for that. We don't have free speech in Canada.
Okay.
So there is, like, man, it's ridiculous the difference. I was just talking to Brendan Schaub about this because he's American. He has no idea. But up here, I'm sure you heard of the 2 cases where comedians were in court. They lost like $45,000.
No, what?
So Mike Ward is one of the guys.
Okay.
And I can't remember the name of the other guy. Here are the 2 cases, okay? One of them, a guy had a joke about a Make-A-Wish kid who was granted a bunch of these wishes, okay? One after another. Started when he was like 8 years old. All of a sudden, 5 years later, he's 13. He is open for Celine Dion. He has been on The View. He has sung the national anthem at a fucking Montreal Canadiens game.
Wow.
He's getting gigs comedians would die for, okay? He's on Conan O'Brien, this kid.
Wait, he's a comedian, this
No,
kid?
he's not. But he's just getting these like amazing
yeah,
opportunities.
okay.
He sang for the Pope.
Wow.
So this comedian is just like, look, you got to keep your end of the deal. All right, we're gonna get. Are you gonna die? Ever? We've given you all the Make-A-Wishes.
Yeah.
You're supposed to keep your end. Hilarious joke.
Yeah.
So this kid, years later, still alive, thriving as an adult, with more money than all of us combined.
Yeah.
Hears of this joke because it was put on TV or something, and then sues.
Wow.
And because of our laws, it is deemed as like hate speech.
Okay.
And and this comedian has now, there's different reports. I can't really tell you how much money he's lost, but I know it's between $45,000 and $100,000.
Oh my God.
He is lost in court because of this. And the other case, it was a quick one. There was 2 lesbians, front row, kissing. interacting, being disruptive to the show.
Yep.
He goes, what are you guys, lesbians? And they go, yep. He goes, I don't think so. It's just no guy would either fuck either of you. You know? Now, there you go. Obviously, the crowd did what you guys just did now, and you're in a comedy club, so mission accomplished. It's all good. Those are the sounds that are supposed to happen. Yet they were offended, and they saw it as an attack, personal attack, and $45,000
No way.
Each. Oh man.
each.
I saw a few years ago. I saw Ben Miner was on stage, and a guy in the front row answered a phone call during Ben's set. And then Ben was like, are you fucking seriously just going to answer the phone call? And then realizes that guy is clearly a gang member. And the guy's like, yeah, I am actually. And Ben was like, okay. So anyway, blah, blah. And like, he just had to like pretend that wasn't happening.
What club?
Comedy Mix.
So he has door staff to help him out there. That's not like he's outnumbered.
Yeah, I know.
See, I'm a different guy. I go full in on that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this guy was like...
Yumi Nagashima, man, she did that happened to her, and she picked up the phone and she just roasted the person with the phone. And she gave the phone right back to
She's
him.
on after you on this show. I'm going to make her tell that story.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in Prince George, man, and it was really funny. This was like maybe 2 years ago or so.
Yeah.
And she was like middling. She's opening for me, right? How funny is that where she is now in her career,
She's crushing
right?
it.
And I remember like walking her back to the hotel after, because Prince George is a fucking terrible town.
Oh, it's awful.
And so I walked her back, and I was really nice. And I'm like, man, like anything I can do to help you get in front of club owners in Calgary, I will. I was just like really being nice to her.
Yeah.
And then like weeks later, I'm like, oh, okay. She's on the cover of the Georgia Straight, and it's like, okay, I don't need to help her. She'll be just fine, you know. But she's one of my favorites.
She's one of my best friends too. She's stayed really humble through all of this too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Well, because of the language barrier. If she knew English better, she'd probably.
Tell me to go fuck myself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Kevvy, we're not friends anymore. All right, man. Thank you for coming on. Is there anything you want to plug?
Is this released right away here? Right?
I think it'll probably be next month.
Yeah.
Oh, next month.
Yeah.
Okay, well then fuck it. I do a roast battle once a week in Calgary. So any Alberta listeners right now, my next dates are April 24th and May 15th.
Okay.
As well as March, I guess if it's out in the March date, it'll be March 15th, April 24th, May 5th, March 13th.
There you go.
March 13th, April 24th, and May 15th. There it is. Those
There
are the
you go.
dates.
Okay.
Did it without looking at my phone.
I know. You're like a regular LeBron James. Off script.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you for listening to the Comedy Here Often podcast. I've been your host, Kevvy. Thank you to Brett Forte for coming on. Make sure to follow him on social media. Make sure to follow us on social media at Comedy Here Often on all platforms, and make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. We'll see you next week.